Hello everyone. Let's go with one more illustration on the valuation of equity shares. So here is a question for you. The question says that currently the share is sold for $30. Next year's expected dividend is 1.5 per share and expected price after 1 year is 33. Now you have to calculate the required rate of return. Now, required rate of return can also be named as cost of equity. As I've already told you, there are different names for the rate of return, out of which one name is cost of equity, or you can even name it as the equity capitalization rate. Now, let's start with the number line. I always suggest you to start with a number line because whenever you are making a number line, it will give you a pictorial presentation and you are able to understand what you have to do it. Now this is my number line. I am starting from 0 and I have make the number line till infinity because I know that this is a question for the equity shares, and in equity shares we are getting dividend, and the dividend that we are getting is till infinity because there is no maturity date in the case of equity shares. Now the first thing that is given is that currently the share is sold at $30. That means my P0 price, current price, is given to be 30. So I'll write in front of 0 that my P0 is $30. Next is given next year's expected dividend is 1.5. So over here it's very much clear, it's written that next year the dividend is 1.5. So I can say that at the end of year 1 I am going to get the dividend of $1.5 per share. So my D1 is 1.5. Next is given that the expected price of a share after 1 year is $33. That means price that you are going to get it after 1 year, if you are going to sell the share in the market, it will be $33. So or I can say this $33 is P1 price at the end of year 1. Now I am given with P0 is 30, D1 is 1.5, P1 is 33. Now since these three things are given, now I am going to do this question by three different methods. Now it's up to you which method you are going to do, but all the methods are going to give you the same result. So don't get confused, there are different methods of doing the same question. So let's start with the first method of doing the question. Now as I am already aware that P0 is 30, my D1, that means the amount that I am going to get it at the end of year 1, is 1.5, plus I am also going to get the amount of $33 at the end of year 1. So now if I am going to convert these two amount to 0, that means if I am going to calculate the present value of these two amount, then I am going to get the value of present value of the share. So that means I can equate it by this way. That means present value will be equals to future value 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power 1, because the value we are given at the end of year 1. So that means power is 1. Again future value at the end of year 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power 1. Over here P0 is your $30. Future FV1 will be your dividend, that is 1.5. And again FV1 future value, another future value, that will be your P1. And R is missing, that we have to calculate it over here. So that means if I am going to put the values, it will be $30 is equals to 1.5 divided by 1 plus R plus $33 divided by 1 plus R. Now since 1 plus R we are having the common denominator in both the cases, so I can take the denominator as common. So I can write it as $30 is equals to 1.5 plus 33 upon 1 plus R. Now what I have to do, I have to cross multiply it. So I am going to put 1 plus R over here on the left hand side and $30 at the denominator of the right hand side. So I can write it like this: 1 plus R is equals to $1.5 plus 33 upon 30. Now if I am going to solve this part, so it will be 34.5 divided by 30, and if you are going to solve it, you will get 1.5. Now you will observe that I have not written the dollar sign because this dollar sign is cancelled. All the dollar sign, if I am going to take common, all the dollar sign will be cancelled. So I am going to get 1 plus R is equals to 1.15. Now R will be 1.15 minus 1. So I can say my R is 0.15, or even I can say my R is 15%. So that means my required rate of return is 15%. So this is one of the method of doing the question. Now let's move to the second method. Now if you are going to see, this is my P0. So that means if I am going to calculate the present value, I am going to write it over here. But over here in this question it's already given. This is my D1. 1.5 is my D1 because it's given the next year expected dividend is 1.5. And this 33 is your P1, as we have already discussed in the previous slide also, that this is P1. So that means if I am going to do it on the formula base, that means my next method is if I am going to do it by with the help of formula. So I can write my formula will be PV0, that means present value of the share, is equals to D1 plus P1 upon 1 plus R. So you have to remember this formula also, otherwise we can do it logically with the help of a number line. So why I started with the number line, because I just want to teach you that how these formulas are generated. This is nothing new, you don't have to remember the formula. Just make the number line and represent all the things over there, and you are able to know what we have to do it. So now PV0 we are already given to be 30, D1 we are given 1.5, and P1 is 33. So again we are there with the same thing that we are learned in the previous slide. So if I am going to solve it, I am going to get R is equals to 0.15, or even I can say R is equals to 15%. So this is the second way of doing the question. Now let's move to the third way of doing the question. Now since in the first slide we have learned that this is my number line, and as I have already told you that I have made the number line till infinity because this is a question for the equity shares, and we know that in the case of equity shares we get the dividend throughout the life of a company, and we are not aware about the life of the company, so that's why we write it as an infinity. Now in the previous questions also, or you can say I have already told you in the case of previous dividend in the previous videos that we are going to get dividend throughout the life. But if you will observe this question, in this question you are only given the dividend at the end of year 1. D2, D3, D4, D5 till D infinity is missing. Or even the growth rate is missing. I am not aware of whether this question is of constant growth rate or this question is of variable growth rate. But yes, we know that whenever there is a question for constant growth rate, what we do, we apply the formula over here. That means whatever is the future dividends, we convert it into the price. And if you will see over here, the price is being converted over here. So P1 is given to be 33. So that means I know that this question is for constant growth rate. Now let's do it. We have already learned that the formula for constant growth rate is Ke is equals to D1 upon P0 plus G, where D1 is a dividend that you are going to get at the end of year 1, P0 is your current market price, and G is your growth rate. Now in this question, D1 is given to be 1.5, this is your D1, P0 is given to be $30, and G we are not aware of. So let's calculate what do you mean by growth rate, or what is the growth percentage over here. Now before telling you how to calculate the growth rate, let's move to one of the question. Let's say I say that you are in a company and you are having a profit right now of rupees 10. Or you can say you are having a profit of $10, and in the next year your profit increased to $12. Now if I tell you to calculate the percentage what increase is there, so it's obvious you are going to calculate. Let's say it's right now you are getting your profit is $10, and in the next year your profit is $12. So what you are going to get, the percentage increase in profit is 10 minus 2, 12, that is 2, and 2 divided by 10 will be 20%. So your increase in profit is 20%. The same way we are going to calculate the growth. My P0 is 30, my P1 is 33. That means my growth rate will be, so let's calculate growth rate. Growth rate will be $33 minus 30 divided by 30. Now if you are going to solve it, it will be 3. 33 minus 30 is 3. 3 divided by 30 will be your 0.10, or I can say 10%. So my growth rate comes out to be 10%. Now I am aware of D1, I am aware of P0 and I am aware of G. Now I am going to put every value on this formula. So it will be D1 is 1.5, P0 is $30 and G is 10%, or even I can write 0.10. If you are going to solve it, you are going to get 1.5 divided by 30 is your 0.05 plus 0.10. The answer is 0.15, or even you can say 15%. So now you have learned the same question by three different methods. So these are just the way we are going to represent the question. Otherwise, the logic is same of doing the same question by three different methods. Now there is one more question for you. The question says that currently the share is sold for $80 in the market. Next year's expected dividend is $4 per share. Expected price of the share after 1 year is $90. You have to calculate the required rate of return and growth rate. Hope you have understood the way I have told you how to solve the question and you are able to solve this question. For more questions, you can refer my book Financial Management. Thank you.